Hi, my name is Michael Dax, New Mexico representative for Defenders of Wildlife. Today we are in the Jemez Mountains of the Santa Fe National Forest in northern New Mexico, and through a Share with Wildlife grant with the New Mexico Department of Game and Fish, we're going to be monitoring how road infrastructure is impacting connectivity for a handful of fish and amphibian species. Here in New Mexico, Defenders of Wildlife is very focused on wildlife corridors and landscape connectivity. And although most of the time when we think about landscape connectivity, we think about large megafauna like grizzly bears or elk, deer, wolves, species like that, we're also focused on connectivity big and small, and that means streams as well as large landscapes. And connectivity is extremely important when we're thinking about fish species like the Rio Grande chub, Rio Grande sucker, Rio Grande cutthroat trout, as well as amphibians like the northern leopard frog and boreal chorus frog. As we continue to feel the impacts of climate change, the ability of these species to move up and downstream will become more and more important, both for genetic diversity as well as making sure these species could get to upstream habitats where water will remain cooler in the heat of the summer, and even be able to move away from wildfires or post-fire flooding in the future. Over the course of the summer, Defenders of Wildlife and our partners, Cascade Conservation, will be monitoring 6 streams in the Jemez Mountains to see how road infrastructure like culverts and bridges are impacting the passage of these species. And depending on our findings, we will be recommending that the forest upgrade some of this infrastructure to improve passage. The first measurement we're taking today is culvert length. After that, we're measuring just the width of the culvert itself. After that, we measure the bank width of the stream itself. The next 2 measurements we're taking are the height of the culvert and the rest line of the culvert. Next, we are measuring the width of the water level at the top of the culvert. We also measure stream gradient by measuring upstream and determining the drop of the stream over the course of 100 meters, or in this case, to the first major bend in the stream. After measuring everything at the inlet, we move to the outlet and take all of the same measurements. One final step is measuring pH, dissolved oxygen, temperature, and conductivity. Alright, so we just finished monitoring the first culvert along the Rio Cebolla and took a number of measurements that were all captured into our data spreadsheet, and the determination was that this would be a partial barrier. Also, we are in critical habitat for the New Mexico meadow jumping mouse, a federally endangered species, and similarly, both over the road and under the culvert, there is limited crossing ability for the jumping mouse. But all in all, compared to many culverts, this one is not a full barrier. All right, we finished with our first day of surveying, and over the course of the summer, we'll survey 5 more streams plus the upper Cebolla, and we'll start to get a good picture of what aquatic and riparian connectivity looks like in the Jemez Mountains.